Stardust, and I've been writing a lot. I've been writing a self-help book, and I'm writing a movie.
What's the angle of the self-help book?
It's really...
You've decided you can help people now? Like you've taken up the mantle again? You've got enough recovery. You're like, maybe I'm not so bad at helping people.
Maybe I should revisit that counselor position. No, it's really just things that have helped me about like self-love and empowerment. And
so it's on the level. It's not funny?
It's going to be funny as shit, but still like really helpful. It's kind of like it's a self-help vibe though.
Okay.
But I'm not pretending to be an expert in anything. I'm just sharing what's helped me.
Right.
And that's what the special is really doing, too, is like I'm really just trying to help free people from their abusive stories about themselves because they're just not true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bad, we created bad self-parents when we were younger.
Yeah.
You have bad parents, but when you're younger, you don't... This is what I learned that changed my life in the last 5 years, maybe or so, is that when you don't get what you need from your parents, you assume it's your fault. And you put in place a fairly, probably negative self-parenting system. Because you think you're shitty, because you don't feel loved, or you feel whatever they're doing, emotional abuse, physical abuse, however, neglect, overbearing, whatever it is, if you don't feel good in your skin when you're a kid, it can't be their fault because they're amazing. They're your parents. So it must be you.
Exactly. And that
bad
leads...
narrative. Yeah.
Very bad. Well, destructive narrative. And it leads to so many things, right? When you're trying to prove your worth all the time, or for me, it became workaholism. Like if I just achieve more things, then I'm going to be good enough, or I'm going to, and it's like not it when really it's like that radical self-love is just knowing like you're enough, like you have inherent value, not contingent on any exterior. And that's what probably people with nurturing parents, that's probably the message they receive.
Those
but
fucking
since
people. They can
motherfuckers,
go fuck themselves.
They'll never be a comedian.
Never. They're just going to accept their dumb, boring lives. Not like us, just tumbling through it.
Notice me.
Yeah. Will you be my
enough? Is this enough? And so it's just, they say enlightenment is unlearning things. So enlightenment is really unenlearnment.
Unenlearnment.
It's unlearning all that.
Is that a chapter in the book?
Could be.
Better write that down.
That's the next special.
A lot of specials. You got a lot of specials to do.
But, and about Tig, we were just friends.
Okay.
And then we started dating.
Okay. That's fun, though, right? You guys seem to have a good time.
We had a great time. And,
you're really selling it.
And, but when you're drinking, the best of times, the worst of times.
I hear you, man. But everybody's doing good.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone's doing okay.
I love her. I'm so grateful for our friendship. I did her little comedy festival a few years ago. And yeah, she's great.
She's solid.
She's solid.
Always was.
And Dylan's great too.
Oh, good. You
Dylan's
guys are friends
amazing.
Too?
No, we're not. But
he's doing okay, huh?
But Dylan is he's amazing, Yeah. And he's doing great. Yes, he's doing great. He has a wife.
Good.
She looks exactly like me.
Wow. He just never let it go.
I'm kidding. No, she's beautiful, and they have a beautiful baby, and I paid him back the money I owed him, and everything.
So you know all this stuff, but he doesn't like you. You know all this stuff, and you're not friends. That's a little concerning. You check it up.
I mean, how friendly can you be with people who are...
You're asking the wrong guy.
Who are married with children, What
do you mean? Like
you're respectful.
You put my ex on your fucking podcast specifically to cause trouble.
What? Wow. Okay.
You want to work it out? You want
Yes, please.
Deal with the resentment?
Yes. You have a resentment?
No, not really.
I would love to know about that. Did that hurt your feelings?
You have to understand something. That woman, I've not seen her since 2007. So I've not seen her since we got divorced. Zero. Right? Like nothing. Never ran into her. I would email her. I tried to make an amends, which she didn't really take.
Okay. What do you mean she didn't take it?
Well, we were going to meet, and then she called me 20 minutes before and said, I can't fucking do this. You know, if you want to do it on the phone, let's do it. I'm like, I don't. So then I wrote her something. But, like, I can't account for... Like, I can make an amends, but if somebody brings me up to her or she's still attached to me when on a Google search or something, that's not me. You know what I mean? And I just tried to not talk about her anymore, which I'm breaking my rule, but because I still think it bothers me. But I used to email her on my sober birthday every year and thank her for getting me sober.
Okay.
Which she never responded to.
Okay.
Until like a couple of years ago, she just said, if I want to hear from you, I'll let you know. And then I realized... So she's like still aggressively Al-Anon'd, but it was a great. It was like a.
Have you ever had amends? Like, have you had more people not want an amends, or is that the only one?
You can do an amends, but it doesn't mean they have to accept it.
Right.
And she's got look. All her reasoning is fine. But you're curious, after a certain point. But like, it's a weird thing. But that moment was very important to me because I realized like, oh, I'm that fucking idiot. Everyone's got that person that when you see them come up on your phone after a year, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What does that person want? Like when you, when you realize that like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. Like, yeah, she's got her whole other, like, she's really framed our thing as like, this not a mistake necessarily, but it's like we don't have kids. There's not, whatever the divorce, all that, but it has nothing to do with her life anymore. She's got pretty babies. She's got a nice life, I guess. And I'm just like this mistake or this process, this whatever. So that's that. I mean, I can accept all that. Yeah, really. But there's always curiosity. Like I would love to run into her.
Yeah.
But she would still hate me. But whatever, I would still just like to see her face.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
I know.
It's been over a decade. You friends with her?
I am friends with Mishna. I don't see her often because, she has her whole life.
Yeah.
And she's very busy.
Wrote a movie.
Yeah. I think she's written a few now.
Yeah. I know people are in her new movie. The comic book one or the one that's based on a video game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's a horror. No, that's right. You're right. And but that's so great. I just remember her always working so hard.
Yeah.
As a, writing and comedy. And so it's so great to see her doing all that. But no, I don't see hardly anyone very often.
Well, no one's seen
anymore.
anybody anymore.
Yeah, what was your beef with the podcast?
No, nothing. It was just like at that time because like there was still like, it took me a long time to sort of process all that.
Yeah.
So I just made it about me. I'm like, why the fuck are they? I know Jillian. Why is Jillian Melinda? What do they got to talk to Misha for? Because there was some suggestion of me.
Oh, really?
During the conversation.
This is so long ago.
I know. It was just sort of like, well, you know who I'm talking about. That kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Like I went out with a comic. It was just some veiled reference. I'm like, what is it? But in my mind, I'm like, this is about me. It's all about me. Yeah. But it was nothing about me.
No. And we would never want to like, I'm friends with both of you, so I would never want to, disparage. And I don't know enough about anyone's relationship. I mean, but I guess everyone feels like that, right? Like I feel like that when I break up with public figures.
Yeah.
People are going to be taking sides and
yeah. Well, there wasn't like she just left comedy really and just became a writer, which is I think what she wanted to do anyways. But that's another thing. I should do some EMDR on that.
I think it would be helpful because, and I don't know did you guys try couples counseling?
Well, it was like a Hail Mary pass.
Okay. Is it too late to revisit that? I'm kidding. But I was in couples counseling one time, and they said, when you guys are in a relationship, it's their parents, it's your parents are all in the relationship with you. So you're just like acting out of your triggers or whatever. And yeah, we keep recreating that until it's healed, right? So
yeah,
EMDR would probably be.
I just like, it's not active anymore, and I really do have a lot of acceptance around it. But it wouldn't be bad to sort of, like, when I think about the, like, you know, that moment of like I'm leaving, that like when she walked out of that kitchen and that was it. That's heavy.
You didn't see it coming?
No, I'm a fucking moron.
Yeah, and you have like, I have a very rumination mind, so I can like keep replaying that, trying to.
Oh no, I don't think about her hardly at all. You know, I just don't anymore, and it's a gift. I think that her writing that email was smart because it really put things into perspective, and I don't. You know, and I know there's no reason for us to have a relationship or to talk or any of it. There's no reason. But I do think in whatever fucked up way that I was capable of, I was in love with that person. Mm-hmm. You know, it may not have manifested that way. It may have been driven by a lot of other things, but I was, right? It might not have been healthy love, whatever the fuck it was. But I did, it was a profound event in my life.
Yeah, because how long were you guys together?
Like 7 years, 7.5 years.
Yeah, well, when I met both of you were always together.
Yeah. She just like, but like it was one of those things where like my insanity just, like by the time she left, she just hated me. So like there was no.
Well, I heard you describe that before, that you were kind of like just making her
hate me.
Well, you were making her your everything, right? So you weren't.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you make someone your everything, it's a setup for disappointment, right?
Dude, she got me sober, and I grabbed on. I mean, what are the fucking odds of that?
Yeah.
But like, I learned all this stuff after the fact.
Yeah, of course.
But there's moments where, like, I remember my emotionally abusive behavior, and I'm ashamed and sad. Like, I can see her looking at me in a way where I'm like, when I feel that, I'm like, you awful person.
Wow, that's really deep, Marc. Like, what would help alleviate that for you?
I don't know. What do you think?
What's your sponsor say?
I don't know. We've sort of moved through all that. You know, like the Mishna book is closed. But that's an interesting question, though. For those two specific events, that moment where I realized that, you know, she did not love me anymore because of my behavior, and the moment where she left me. Those are interesting points. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're behind me and I'm okay, but maybe I just stuffed them.
And maybe, I mean, it's sort of rhetorical, but what could give you peace?
I have peace.
Okay, so you have peace. So what is...
I think there's a shame thing. I think that there is still a, you know, whatever the amends process gives me, or however I have made a living in amends, I think I'm ashamed of that man that I was, especially in that relationship.
Yeah. So, like, what's the
I don't know.
Antidote?
I'll ask.
For shame.
To act better.
And, well, to act better, of course.
And let yourself off the hook a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, that you did you processed it, you made an amends. You know, everyone's alive, everyone's moved on to in their lives, and they're okay. So, you know, at some point you just got to say, like, all right, you know, you're better now, and you know, that was a bad time, and you made some mistakes, and you were sort of a shitty person, but you're better. What are you gonna do? Yeah. People change.
People change, and forgiveness.
Forgive myself.
Forgiveness of yourself.
Yeah, I was a dick.
You know, I mean, look, we all have been, you know, but, you know, it's like allowing yourself to rewrite the narrative moving forward.
Boy, I have been through 3 lifetimes since then.
How can I be a different person now? Like, that's all we have, right? And it's like...
That's all you can do.
How can we...
We're doing it.
Have you heard the acronym for